All right, we're getting started here. So I wanted to record a blog to potentially document this new chapter in my life that I may be going on. Tomorrow, I'm going to visit with a weight loss specialist. My doctor I met with back in February, he recommended that I talk to a weight loss doctor that can maybe help me get some of this weight off. I've struggled with my weight since as long as I can remember, probably middle school, even before then, and always saw myself as overweight no matter what size I was. I was always the biggest guy in the class and always felt like I was fat. And I've struggled with that my whole life. My food addiction and different things that I've had have really put on the weight for me. I've been able to drop pounds and go on diets and walk and run and lose weight temporarily, but I always feel like I'm depriving myself, and I have this hunger all day long for things. So I'm going to be talking to my new specialist tomorrow after work. Right around lunchtime, I'm leaving work and going down to Cincinnati. And unfortunately, my insurance doesn't cover it, so I'm going to pay for this out of my pocket potentially. If everything goes well tomorrow and the doctor says that I can have surgery, it could be up to 4 to 5 weeks before they could get it scheduled. And what I'm thinking they're going to recommend is what they call a gastric sleeve. That's where they remove the majority of your stomach. It's not like a sleeve that they put over your stomach. They actually make your stomach the size of a banana. And I've read up on it, and I've heard people who have had great results. And one of the things that makes me lean towards this is if you look at diet and exercise, which is obviously the best way to lose weight and the healthiest, and you look at weight loss surgery, diet and exercise has a really low rate of success. And you're 5-6 years down the road, most people have failed. This weight loss surgery has higher rates of success. So if you look at weight loss as a disease and you look at these diet and exercise and weight loss surgeries as treatments, the weight loss surgeries have higher than expected outcomes. If this were a cancer, nobody would question surgery. So even though I feel guilty that diet and exercise hasn't worked for me over the years and I haven't had the discipline to do it, if I were having a cancer issue and going to surgery, nobody would question me. So I've really kind of gotten over my insecurities about that. And so wanted to start this so I could look back. I'm not sure if I'll share this yet or not. I wanted to be able to look back, see where my mind frame was, see what I look like as I go through this. I'm sure it's going to be an interesting journey. It's about 9 o'clock here on March 22nd. It's a Tuesday night. I go tomorrow. When I was in high school, I weighed about 230 pounds going into my freshman year. I was one of the biggest guys in the class. And I kind of ballooned from there, went up and down. Back in 06, I weighed about 240, put on a bunch of weight. 2010, lost a bunch of it for my wedding, was back down to about 245. The highest I've ever been was August 11th. I checked in with my doctor. I go to the doctor every 3 months because after my mom passed away, I went to the doctor to get checked out. And of course, high blood pressure, high cholesterol, pre-diabetes, high triglycerides. And so I was put on medicine right away because my mother passed away at 44 with a heart attack. My aunt passed away in her early 40s from a heart attack. My uncles had 1 or 2 heart attacks. My other aunts had a heart attack. My grandfather had cancer. My great aunt and uncle both had heart attacks and asthma and cancer. So the genes aren't great in my family. And then you put bad food habits on top of that, and it's just a walking disaster. I have been able to medicate my way to good numbers, but I haven't been able to do it right. And I feel really guilty about that. It really, like a failure, basically. I've been able to accomplish a lot of things in my life that I'm proud of, but not one of them is diet or exercise related. I'll have fits and spurts, but just don't stick with it. So August 11th, I weighed 327 pounds. That was the biggest I ever got. I imagine I was a few pounds over that at some point, but pretty miserable. Joined a gym, started lifting heavy, even hurt my back lifting. Stayed with it after that. I went to chiropractor, stayed with it. Eating pretty good, mostly low carb and high protein, high fats, and got down to 298. Was pretty proud of myself and kind of stalled there. And then went to the doctor November the 17th. Over the holidays, lost interest, wasn't going as often, typical excuses. And back up to 311 on February 23rd when I talked to my doctor. And I was pretty embarrassed about it. And he said, oh, hey, maybe you need some help. Maybe we could give you a tool that would help you curb your hunger, help you get on the right track, and start the weight loss journey. So he recommended I talk to Kettering Bariatrics. I called them. They're outrageous without insurance. So they recommended I talk to Dr. Curry down in Cincinnati. And it's a little bit more reasonable for a self-pay patient. With my grandmother's house selling, I should be able to have some of the funds, and with the savings that we've done, have the funds to maybe pay for this. So if I meet with them tomorrow and everything goes well, it could be 4 weeks. We could look right on my birthday at the end of April, I could be having surgery. From what I understand, you were on a liquid diet for 7 days, then you're on baby food, basically pureed food for 2 weeks, and then you can do low carb, and it's really kind of slow getting back in, but the weight loss really happens fast because you're not eating anything. And with the stomach being 1/10 of the size that it was before, you definitely feel full faster, so you really start to drop the weight. So by my doctor's appointment on May 19th, I could have some weight loss already if we're able to get the surgery scheduled. We have a trip going to Aruba in November around Thanksgiving that I hope to have some significant weight loss for that. And the real motivator for this, getting worried about my weight, few 6, 7, 8 months ago, I was tested and I had sleep apnea, which is another fat guy problem. I wasn't sleeping because I'm so fat. The fat just weighs on my neck and chokes me in the middle of the night and I can't breathe. And so, I'm eating myself to my grave. And then my daughter was born May 2015. And I really have, not that I didn't before, I have a lot to live for. She's got a long life ahead of her, and I want to set a good example. I don't want her to struggle with the things that I've struggled with. So if I can eat right, it'll help my family, it'll help my daughter, it'll help my wife. It'll be all around. People say you make more. Studies out there say skinnier people make more than fat people, and they're happier and all the things. But most of all, I want to feel better about myself. And so I've done some measurements, and around my neck, I'm 18 inches. I've got 20-inch shirts just so I don't choke myself on my neck. I got to buy big boy shirts. My right arm, 16.5 inches. My left arm, 16 inches. My belly, right around my belly button, 52 inches. My belt loop was 47 inches. Now, keep in mind, I've lost 30 pounds, 20 pounds since my highest weight. So I wasn't even, my thighs, right around 27 inches. So one of the things that I've watched a lot of other people do these vlogs, and one of the things that they never do is they don't show pictures of themselves. They don't talk about their inches. They don't talk about their weight loss. I imagine because it's private, but I wanna do that. So I'm gonna show you how fat I am. Got this big nasty belly right here. It's full, hangs off to the side there. Got them big man boobies. It's embarrassing. I've done this to myself. I know, right? It got quiet, awkward, silence. So I've done this to myself. I've eaten my way to this. I have a bad food addiction. I feel that if I'm unhappy, food is very pleasing to me. I was always told to clean my plate. Anytime I was sad, I was offered food growing up. So, I mean, comes by naturally, I'm sure, but I just don't want to pass that on to my child. One of the things that makes it even more apparent to me that I have a problem is now that I know I'm going to the doctor tomorrow, there's a chance that I'll have to go into a low carb diet for the 4 weeks before my surgery in order to reduce the fatty cells around my liver so that I can have a healthy surgery, because your liver's right up against your stomach. And if there's too much fat there, they won't see what they're doing. So they want you to lose some weight before you go into surgery to cut down on the fat so that they can get at the stomach and cut the stomach away like they're supposed to. So I know that tomorrow could be the beginning of the weight loss journey if I want to do this surgery and want to get better. So like most people, it's like the Sunday night before you start a diet on Monday. Got my beer. I've had a couple beers. I've been eating out. I have candy bars. It's like, I don't know. I guess I equate it to the drug dealer getting high before he has to go to jail. Or something like that, so he can enjoy himself one last time. And I know that that's not a healthy attitude to have about food. You should be able to enjoy these things in moderation, and food should be fuel for the body. I know this in my head, but when it comes down to 10 o'clock, I've eaten my breakfast at 8:30, 10 o'clock, I've got a hunger, I go eat. 12 o'clock, I eat again. 2 o'clock. 4 o'clock, come home, eat at 6, and then we snack all night. It's just not healthy. So I'm thinking that if I had a weight loss surgery where I start to feel full, I don't eat as much, it could be a tool to get the ball rolling downhill where I'm losing some weight, be a little bit more active, feel a little better. I mean, I worked on an edger this weekend and I was sore. It's like crawling around on the ground for a couple of hours. Shouldn't make me sore at this age. I'm feeling like a 65-year-old and I'm not even 35 yet. So hopefully we can get this fixed. So I'm kind of nervous about what's going to happen. I've thought about it a lot. I've done a lot of research on what the surgery is like. So hopefully I'll have some more information tomorrow. I'll know which way I'm headed. I'm kind of excited to have the meeting with the doctor and see what he recommends and get moving in the right direction here. So hopefully I can keep this up. Keep these out here. I'm not sure how long it's going to be till I release these, but at some point I imagine that I will. I guess my greatest fear is that if I start releasing these and then quit, don't have the surgery, fail at the surgery, then everybody know I'm a failure. So until I can get over that insecurity, these will stay private. So hopefully I can help somebody that's going through this to know what they're feeling, to understand what you're getting yourself into. Maybe my journey or my opinions will help somebody. If not, you can just laugh at me for being a fat ass and hopefully that'll change. So I think that's it. You're welcome.